back to Teushenthal for the MXGP of Germany, round 11 of the MXGP World Championship. Three-time winners of this Grand Prix include Joel Smets, Michael Pichon, Stefan Everts and Tony Cairoli. Max Nagel in his comeback ride here at his home Grand Prix. Well, he was a winner in Moto number 1. Could he stand on the top step of the podium and join the 5 other winners? Steffi Lyer is a 2-time winner, Ken Roczen, Larissa Pappenmeyer. Ken Roczen again in 2011. But Max Nagel, he'll be looking to do his best to appease the German fans here this weekend. If he could do that, what he did in Moto number 1, these guys here will go home very, very happy indeed. We're in the east of the country, a couple hours, hour and a half, something like that from Berlin. Tony Cairoli, though, would have been the favourite normally for overall victory here. He still might be, but you'll see in a moment from Moto number 1, he was 5th in race 1. The odds are a little bit longer on him getting on the top step of the podium because Max Nagel, Clément de Sal, Stephen Frossard, Jeremy Van Horbeke all finishing ahead of him. Sean Simpson had a great ride in 6th as well. Kevin Strybos was 7th, Tommy Searle 8th, Valentin Tellier was 9th, and Milko Potacek on the 2B Yamaha also had a good ride to come home in 10th place. There have been 10 Belgian winners of this MXGP of Germany. Joel Robert, the first ever winner here in 1971. Since then, we've had Joel Smets, Marlon Bevot, Stefan Everts has won 3 times. So too has Smets. Patrick Caps won here in 125. Back in 2002, Kenda Dijker was the last winner for Belgium in 2010 on a Ritchie Yamaha. Clément de Sal, who was 2nd in Moto number 1, could walk away as a winner. Here's what happened in MXGP race 1, and the gate dropped, and it was Max Nagel on the HRC Honda, who was a bike length clear of everybody else to take the Fox Hull shot. He crossed the stripe first, but got himself into a bit of a muddle coming through the first couple of corners, but he managed to hang on. De Sal was there in 2nd. Frossard, Valentin Tellier, the French rider, 7:37, filling in for Gauthier Paulin, was in 3rd. Simpson was 4th. Milko Potacek was 5th as Cairoli and Van Horbeke battled for 6th and 7th in the early laps. Sean Simpson came under pressure from the 183 of Stephen Frossard as Jake Nichols went down hard on the Wilvo Fork Rank KTM on the 2nd lap. His teammate Mattis Caro, who also started well, got himself up into 8th at that point in the race. He also lost a few positions, dropped to 17th and eventually came home in 17th place. But Stephen Frossard was charging hard. He found a way past Simpson. That put him up into 4th place as Van Horbeke muscled his way on his factory Yamaha down the inside of 222 Red Bull KTM and championship leader of Antonio Cairoli. Frossard then found a way the inside of his temporary teammate, Valentin Tellier, as Van Horbeke muscled his way up the inside of the 24 Sean Simpson on the Hitachi KTM. That put him up into 4th place. He then went after, well, Cairoli was next. Around the outside, an acknowledgement from Cairoli as he came off the downhill. Simpson not really wanting to get involved. Cairoli then went after 7:37, Valentin Tellier, who was starting to drop down the order. That put him up in the 5th place when he went through on the Frenchman, former European champion in MX2. But Clément de Sal was always around about 3 or 4 seconds down on Max Nagel on his Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Frossard was a lonely figure on 183. Monster Energy Kawasaki in 3rd, as Cairoli closed in on the 89 of Jeremy Van Horbeke. This was the battle for 4th place, and it was a pretty intense affair as well. Cairoli getting right onto the rear wheel of the Belgian, and he used every ounce of his track knowledge to try and find a way past the Belgian. Meanwhile, Max Nagel was being caught in the closing stages by the 25 of Clément de Sal in what was his first ride back from injury, missing a handful of Grand Prix. And it really would have been a fairy tale ending for Max Nagel could he cross the checkered flag in 1st place on the HRC Honda for him and the team and the fans. But we kept switching from the front, the battle between the leaders and the 2 for 4th and 5th, but Max Nagel did hang on. He took the checkered flag from de Sal. Frossard was 3rd, and Horbeke hung on from Cairoli. He was 5th. Adam Wheeler joins me again. That was a pretty intense first MXGP race, wasn't it? The last 15, 20 minutes. But we're getting ready to talk to Amy. Here she is with Kevin Strybos.
We're back down here on the start line ahead of MXGP Race 2. We're going to have a word with Kevin Strybos, our poleman from yesterday. I know at the end of qualifying race you were having some problems with the arm pump. What happened in that first race?
I got a good start, but then somebody hit me in the first corner and dropped back to, 10 or 11. And after halfway, the arms were back. I got some arm pumps, so I wasn't too happy about that, but hopefully now it's going to go better.
Best of luck for race 2. Thanks, Kevin. Let's take a look at the starting list.
Das wäre die Nummer, aber deutscher Laufsieg in der MXGP-Klasse. Das ist schon wirklich ganz was Besonderes. Den Tag, den dürft ihr euch wirklich anstreichen im Kalender. Alle anderen brennen natürlich jetzt da drauf.
Race 1 then was a win for Max Nagel. De Sal was second, Frossard third, Van Hoorbeek was fourth, and Kai Rowley was fifth. Behind them, Sean Simpson, Kevin Strybos, Tommy Searle, Valentin Tellier, and Milko Potacek. They were your top 10. Adam Wheeler joins me again from OnTrackOffroad.com. What a great battle that first MXGP race was, and certainly the second half of the race between Van Hoorbeek and Kai Rowley, and also Max Nagel and Clement de Sal in the battle for the lead.
Yeah, initially it seemed like we were getting a pretty static kind of race, but then, Clement de Sal found 4 seconds on Max Nagel. I think he made a mistake with 2 laps to go, because it should have been a closer finale there at the line. But for me, that battle between Van Hoorbeek and Kai Rowley was fantastic. That's one of the best races we've seen so far this season. Kai Rowley just trying absolutely everything on that 350 to get by, but Van Hoorbeek, you can see from the pictures in that small highlights package, just throwing the Yamaha around at will, with the kind of form and fitness that's taken him to sort of 9 consecutive podiums. So, Kai Rowley's struggling with illness. He's on antibiotics, so you'd have to say that his chances of taking the overall win here are pretty slim. If Nagel can repeat that start, then Paul, this is going to be a fantastic comeback. We saw him do it a few years ago at Lockett after a pretty serious back injury. He came straight back and was fighting for a podium. And I think, Nagel, what can you say, king of the comebacks?
Be interesting to see how much he's got left in the tank, though, because obviously no riding for the last couple of months. But, he...
Actually, I'll stop you there, because he's been doing a lot of sand riding. He said that the wrist was too painful for any hard track, so he's been in the sand a lot. Almost for, I'd say, 3 weeks, maybe a month.
But in terms of, it's one thing getting your bike fitness going practicing and that kind of thing, but being in a race and that intensity, the extra energy and the psychological side of things, to go there to win the race leading every single lap. He got closed in on in the end by Clement de Sal, but the other thing is, even in the post-race interview, he said, he felt so tired in the end, and he just thought, well, do I save a little bit for the second race? And he was like, expletive insert here. Actually, no, I'm going to go for it. And that's exactly what he's done. So I think he might get a decent start. He could pull a whole shot, hang it out there for 10 or 15 minutes. I think the best we can hope for from Nagel is for him to get on the podium. I think the fans will be happy with that. I think my overall contender is going to be, by virtue of the fact that he was second in Moto #1, and the odds are for him, Clement de Sal.
Keep an eye on Van Hoorbeek. He was fired up after that first moto. Again, very angry yesterday that his start wasn't as good as he wanted it to be. So, 4th place, that's going to make it tough for him to take his first win of the year, or first win in MXGP full stop. But like you say, for me, De Sal is the favourite here in terms of fitness, even though he's got a little bit of a sore left wrist after that huge crash in Majora we saw last week. Let's see what happens. It's going to be good stuff. Kai Rowley as well, didn't have a great first race. He'll be frustrated after not being able to pass Van Hoorbeek, so what can he do?
Well, that's it. He could still go out and win the race, but not necessarily go and win the Grand Prix, because it depends what Van Hoorbeek does, who obviously finished ahead of him in the Moto, so too Clement de Sal. But either way, I think we're going to be in for an absolute cracker.
I think this is going to be the most interesting scenario for the overall we've seen possibly this year.
Yeah, it was blown wide open, wasn't it, by the fact that, all the big hitters were there and not in their usual places.
Yeah.
Monster Energy 15-second board gets hoisted up into the air. Ingo Parch, our race director, has called this all systems go, as we took a quick look there. Number 12, Max Nagel, your winner from race 1. Kai Rowley, who was 5th in Moto #1. Up the inside, gate number 1, the blue Yamaha. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek gets a good jump, but so too does Kai Rowley.
Strybos. Oh, no, it's
Potacek. side by side. Podisek, I think, gets the foxhole shot just by about a half a wheel. And then Strybos will muscle his way down the inside and take the lead at turn 2. Nagel buried down here. Well, there's the scenario all over the place. And now Frossard just ahead of him.
Yeah, Cairoli sick.
Simpson. So
That's
DeSalle.
Ulrich, isn't it?
No, DeSalle leads. Yeah, Ulrich there, sorry. 149. So we've got DeSalle leading, Ulrich the German in second, then Simpson third, Podisek fourth, Van Hoorbeek fifth, Strybos sixth. And the interesting thing here, Adam, is both DeSalle and Van Hoorbeek ahead of Cairoli in the early stages of the race here, which might already start to determine the overall Grand Prix.
Where was Nagel? You called it for his mid-pack. 14th place coming over the line. And Ulrich as well as Podisek still there.
Cairoli, there's Tommy Searle buried down as well in 17th place.
Frossard, the third place in the first motor. Where is he? 11th.
Yeah.
So some work to do for the Frenchman as well. And Nagel Paul, well, he's going to have to work extra hard. Like, again, that lack of fitness and form, race fitness coming in.
Well, one thing he needed to do this weekend was get a good start. He got that in the first race and he went wire to wire, but the second moto, he needed another good start, so he hasn't got to work this hard to find his way through traffic. And, you know, like I said, at best, a podium. Made it even harder now for him, the German, number 12, the winner from race 1, Max Nagel there. Around the outside, he's got, is that Watson just ahead of him? No, he's further down, 991, Nathan Watson.
And 100, Tommy Searle, just eating roost and stones again on a stock Kawasaki. So he just said before the race he's fed up of starting in 10th place and having to work his way through. So not the best scenario there for the British rider who shined at the Motocross of the Nations here 9 months ago.
Well, Clement DeSalle,
yeah.
Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Well, that second place in the first moto, that gives you a half a sniff at getting the overall, doesn't it, with a decent result in the second race, and that's exactly what he's done, and he's just on fire here.
But I tell you what, I mean, if you're a German fan, you've got to feel happy with this, haven't you? Max Nagel taking the win against the odds in the first moto, and Dennis Ulrich, you know, such a firm favourite from the National Series, the ADAC MX Masters, you know, a pretty strong national European motocross championship in second place.
On what is a private team, you know, run bike. Sarholtz is just an importer for KTM, and, you know, they've been around for years and years and years. And here he is in second position, and he was their third choice rider, wasn't he, at the Motocross of the Nations last year for Team Germany.
Van Hoorbeek's going to zap Podisek, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Simpson, number 24, in third place, just behind this guy here, 149, Dennis Ulrich. So a great start for Sean Simpson, 6 in Moto number 1, currently third in this second race, just behind the Yamaha there, the blue Yamaha of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, and the white Yamaha, the 2B machine of Milko Podisek. Loads of room through there, Adam. Get back down off the ceiling. Turns in tight. Bottom. Oh, that was close. That was close. That was very close.
I just want to make sure we got our distances on the same scale there. That was
1-1.
Podisek just not showing any respect to the factory Yamaha rider there, is he? I mean, they're maybe brand mates, but they're not. Is that a Strybos?
Yeah.
Well, that's, you know, I thought he had a better start than that. 6th place.
Yeah, he was 7th in Moto number 1 as well, so we could be potentially looking at a DeSalle Van Hoorbeek Strybos podium at the moment. Back end, just.
Oh, Podisek just like almost trying to.
He was a lot shorter there as he came out of the corner. Podisek never saw it coming, so he was probably just a bit ahead of him. And that back end did get loose.
We'd have been watching CBS a lot closer than anybody else, I think. But, you know, just looking at Dennis Ulrich, well, we're looking at Podisek now, but Dennis Ulrich was in the shot. Always the, you know, the third kind of member of Team Germany in Motocross of the Nations is between him or Markus Schiffer when he's fit. Just Van Hoorbeek on an outside line. Is he going to make that happen, Paul?
Yeah. Oh, bar banging, but he made it stick. Very close down there. Luigi's mechanic just holding the board out to him. Right,
so Van Hoorbeek up to 4th, with Simpson ahead. Simpson's going to have a look at Ulrich. He needs to pass him and go. Otherwise, he's going to get swallowed by this group behind him. Strybos and Cairoli getting impatient.
Well, let's look at the championship. You know, in terms of MXGP, 38 points of difference between Cairoli and DeSalle. That's obviously come down to about 32. And then Cairoli, again, now down in 7th place. So those points that had DeSalle not crashed last week in the first moto in Italy and maybe gone on to win, you know, all the hypotheses, if buts and maybes and all of that, you know, we could be looking at a closer championship again, couldn't we? But it's not done yet. Not even close to being done.
Where is Frossard? I'm just having a look on the running order at the bottom of the screen there. So Nichols,
yeah,
there he is.
There he is.
We were sick in Majora in Italian Grand Prix last week. Gastritonitis, did I say that correctly?
Third in Moto number 1 here.
What's going on here? Is that it's like a mechanical issue?
Gastroenteritis, something like that?
Yeah, belly bug.
Yeah. Well, here's Simpson. Hitachi KTM.
Is he past Ulrich? Is he just ahead?
No.
Ulrich's just ahead. So Simpson third place, highest we've seen him this year. And like his teammate Mel Pocock in MX2, British Championship leader. And closing on, this is going to be fantastic for Simpson in the championship. He's going to take some points over Stephen Frossard, well, providing he finishes the race in one of these lofty positions.
Yeah, but podium.
Fifth in MXGP World Championship. That's going to be another personal best for the Scot.
It will be, but still plenty of laps to go here, Ad. Strybos looking down one side of Podizek, makes a mistake. Cairoli might find a way through at the end of the straight as well. Oh, back end getting loose on Cairoli's KTM. He was close to crashing here on the finish line at the end of the race, but he's about a foot in from going down there in this one, but runs Podizek wide, doesn't want him to have any say in the return loop into that right-hander. Goes after Strybos, so that puts him up into, what, 6th place now, Tony Cairoli.
Podizek was just attacked from all sides there, wasn't he, going past the pit lane? Who's behind him now? David Philipparts.
So this was Podizek making a mistake, and that gave Cairoli just enough to find a way through. Podizek obviously going defensive there as well, but Simpson, yeah, that was a difference.
He's, 11 points. So he just has to get 12, and he's, well, yeah, it would be, because Frossard's had more top threes, but 5th place in the championship, that's
looking good for Sean Simpson. If he, you know, can finish anywhere in the top 5, I would think, here in this second moto.
I would say that Jeremy Van Horbek's going to charge up to him. So Simpson really has to make a move on Ulrich and just try and find his rhythm, because these 3 guys are really going for it. Cairoli just slipping into championship mode. He'll be thinking, I can't give away this many points to Sal or to Jeremy Van Horbek.
Also, how sick is he in terms of, you know, the whole... He's on antibiotics, we know that, but energy, draining, that kind of thing. You know, is it a flu bug? Is it just a virus or something like that? You know, he worked hard in the first moto to get onto the rear wheel of Van Horbek and not find a way through. Second race, here he is, another bad start, making hard work for himself, Cairoli, the defending champion, of course, as he looks to find a way past Kevin Strybos, the number 22 there on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki, just ahead of him in yellow. Van Horbek's not that far ahead, you know, number 89 on the factory Yamaha, just there. So this is 4th, 5th and 6th, all in the same shot. Podizek just starting to fade now in 7th place. Philipparts, a good ride for him in 8th on the DP19 Yamaha. Then Nagel up to 9th. Good ride for our race 1 winner, Max Nagel.
Ahead of Tommy Sell. David Philipparts, the 2nd ever winner of MX1 and MX2 Grand Prix here in 2007.
In here, 2nd and 3rd. Yep. So Dennis Ulrich now starting to come into play in terms of Sean Simpson closing in on the German. This put Simpson in 2nd if he finds a way past the 149. Ulrich, who's what, only 20 years old?
Yeah,
he's only a young kid.
MX2 for Team Germany. No, Roxon, of course, was MX2 last year, but going back to Philipparts, he had a problem with a rear brake in the first moto. Front brake, beg your pardon. Front brake problem, and then also on the clutch.
Well, Ulrich doing his best to hang on here. He's the lead German in 2nd, but Simpson, Van Horbek, Strybos and Cairoli are all on the charge. Quick look at the start. Kenda Dyker there in the middle. Oh, Nathan Watson getting tagged there, but Van Horbek, Sal, Nagel. So a terrible jump there from the HRC Honda. That was very close, wasn't it? Podizek and the Suzuki's.
On the inside of the picture, Van Horbek just giving Cairoli a little nudge as well. I wonder if he'll get it back in a moment. Belgium and Sicily coming, well, you've got another one, got a German and a Scot in there as well.
Down on the inside, and makes it stick, but he gets squared up by Ulrich.
No, he's got that.
Yeah. So Simpson now jumps up in a 2nd position on the Hitachi Construction KTM.
I mean, Sean's got a slew of factory bikes behind him, so he's really just got to try and find his rhythm like he did in the first moto. He said after the first one, actually, he did the last lap with a smile on his face because he just found his groove and was, you know, happy with his speed around this track, Paul. You can see more ruts coming through. It's getting rougher, a bit more technical. It means the riders, as we get late into this race, won't want him to be taking any major risks or, you know, trying to find some bizarre place to pass that just carries too much of a, you know, a potential calamity, would you will, especially with someone like, you know, Simpson, who may think about Frossard being out. You hope someone would tell him for the championship picture. And also for Van Horbik, you must know he's ahead of Cairoli.
Well, DeSalle, Nagel, Van Horbik, that's your first three in the GP overall at the moment, but obviously Van Horbik going up the inside now of Dennis Ulrich, goes after Simpson, so that puts the Belgian there on that blue Yamaha, just jumping out of shot in the fluorescent day glow colours of Van Horbik. He moves up in the third place. This guy here, Ulrich, drops to fourth, but the yellow Suzuki in fifth of Strybos and the orange KTM of Cairoli in sixth. Really not letting him breathe out there, because it is an intense battle here. But look, he's just staying wide now. He's hung it out there. He's had his 5 minutes of fame, you know, leading these guys and battling out there, being the lead German. Where is his teammate? Oh, not his teammate, but fellow countryman. Nagel now up into 9th place. Tommy Searle going with him in 10th. Guarneri 11th. De Dijker 12th. As Ulrich takes a look over, sees Cairoli one side, cuts to the inside. He knows if he holds a nice tight line, the Sicilian will find a way around the outside easily, and does so.
And,
so nice to see he's not getting involved in the battle here.
Yeah, Van Horbik just at the top of the picture ball, all over the back of Sean Simpson.
Would I be right in thinking this is probably like the most intense GP we've had this year in terms of the amount of riders in there challenging for the potential overall and podiums?
Cairoli's been pitched out of the rut, but, you know, will Cairoli have learned anything from the first moto? Just trying to pass Jeremy Van Horbik in all those places. Kevin Strybos, if he can level criticism at him, then he's not. Oh, Van Horbik going for the inside. Is he going to park Simpson?
Yeah. Goes through. Nicely
Sean's
done
got the inside down the hill.
Yeah, he won't back out of that one, will he, Sean Simpson? But Van Horbik, fortunately, will go around the outside. He might scrub his way neatly, and he does. A few drops of rain there on the screen of the camera, but Van Horbik goes up in the second.
The skies are really dark when I came into the commentary box, Paul, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a late shower, but the rain's largely stayed off, hasn't it?
And there's a lot of polished surfaces out on track as well, so the jump faces and 1 or 2 corners will be pretty lethal, like on here, onto the plateau, through this scrub left.
And just wet stones as well, wet pebbles. Four-way rider for second place. Four-way battle, I should say, for second place. Good stuff. Van Horbik's already
checking out.
Yeah. How far behind DeSalle is he? 11 seconds.
Strybos looking to challenge. Oh, hard move there from Strybos. He just got out of the rut early, got on the gas, wasted no time at all, and he's following the countryman through of Van Horbik. So Belgium second and third now. The first, second and third, because DeSalle leading by 11.5 seconds. That's good enough for the overall Grand Prix for Clement DeSalle, but it's for these guys to do something about him now. That's, I'll tell you what, with 17, 18 minutes on the clock, that's a big ask, I think, for Van Horbik even to close down DeSalle, but impossible is nothing, is it?
But, you know, I thought Sean Simpson made a small mistake there, just coming over the top of the jump. It looked like Strybos just had too much time and room to pick that rut. Maybe just the wrong choice by Sean, really.
Well, here's your leader. You can't even see the guys in second. In fact, when we drop down out of here, the other guys might be coming in the opposite direction, getting ready to step up any time now. So he will have a good visual on where they are and how he can control this race, Clement DeSalle. But just there in the background at the top of the hill, Potazek and a few other guys. But Van Horbik second, Strybos third, Simpson fourth, Cairoli is fifth. Dennis Ulrich has dropped to 6 now. He's 2 seconds clear of Milko Potazek. Philipp Arts is 8th, Nagel 9th, Tommy Searle 10th, Guarneri is 11th, De Dijker 12th. Jake Nichols, who had a big crash in moto number 1, he's there in 13th place, ahead of Rui Gonçalves, Gregory Aranda, Pascal Rauschnecker, Nathan Watson wildcarding for the Red Bull Ice One factory Husqvarna riders. He's in 17th. Mattis Caro is 18th, Tellier 19th, and Marcus Schiffer, your final point scorer, in 20th place.
It was a good first moto for KRT, but this one has been the opposite, isn't it? Valentin Tellier down in 19th. It started so well in 4th place. You know, and Stephen Frossard pulling out for whatever reason. But yeah, there's Nagel. What's that going to mean for the overall pool? He's got Philipp Arts ahead, which is 8th place, and then one more rider. Is that Bodisek? Another Yamaha, perhaps?
Well, he's third at the moment, so he's got 3 points clear of Strybos. So he's safe at the moment in a podium, but you'd expect him to go past Philipp Arts, depending on his fitness levels, in the remaining 15.5 minutes plus 2 laps. And of course, I think there's Podolak just ahead of him as well.
Also, Strybos might get Van Horbik, so there's still a bit of shuffling around to go on here. Simpson behind Strybos now, as we saw a lap or two ago. Cairoli next to Paul in the back of the KTM.
This is a tasty battle, isn't it, between Van Hoorbeek and Strybos. Strybos getting a little bit of arm pump. It's strange, really, with him, isn't it? Because no arm pump yesterday in the qualifying race, you know, which he just disappeared. And here he is now.
Good move, good move, good move, good move.
Nice move. So Strybos then carves his way up the inside into second position. So we've got a Suzuki 1-2 now, Ed.
Van Hoorbeek's not going to let that go, is he?
No, he's not.
Look at it, so smooth, just the way he picks his lines and stuff. It's been
maybe a wake-up call for Van Hoorbeek.
I don't think it's been a real study watching him this season, Paul. I don't think he's. I think he's looked just like a little bit of a pocket rocket. You know, he can go at any time. He'll just tag onto the back of Kevin Strybos here, maybe just pressurize the Belgian a little bit. If that arm pump flares up again, then he'll get him. But it's all just giving Clement Dessau a break at the front, 13 seconds.
So I wonder if he lost the ground there. Well, no, because it was 2 corners later, wasn't it? Knew he was there, though. Probably didn't realise they were going to take him as high and wide as he did.
It was a little bit of an invitation. He didn't swing across, did he? He's looking down at the bike there, Paul.
I think he's just avoiding the roost off the rear of Strybos. But we did a team report with Yamaha Factory Racing during the live broadcast of race 1 as Cairoli at the inside of Simpson. And Van Hoorbeek was saying, there we go, there's the move.
That's a nice line there from Simpson, Paul, but that's a bit clumsy on going on the outside on that pit lane one. You're just leaving yourself so open there.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying about the Yamaha report?
Yeah, basically, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek was saying that when he first got on the bike, you know, he really felt at home on it. But in terms of things that he wanted, personal setup, the team were kind of like, okay, that's interesting, that's strange. But gradually they've come around to his way of thinking. And he's got to the point now where he thinks if anybody else rode my bike, they wouldn't be able to ride it as good as I can because it is set up for me, tailor-made for me. You know, there's a lot of work, a lot of detail gone in that, you know, swing and arm, everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, really interesting piece.
He's basically just altered the whole balance of the bike. You know, he's dropped it, the rear end down a lot. If you watch any images of him riding compared to, say, Stephen Frossard last year, Joel Rouland, any of these kind of riders for Yamaha over the last 2 or 3 seasons, then you see that it's a big 450 bike. It's a very powerful machine, but he rides it a lot like it weighs nothing. You know, I mean, he's a strong guy anyway, Van Hoorbeek. A real hard worker. Yeah. Puts the training in, puts the effort in, but he does ride it pretty much like it is an extension of himself. It's, especially in that first motor from Cairoli, that was a great example.
Cairoli on the charge. He's going to be looking to hunt down the 89 of Jeremy Van Hoorbeek here. Strybos disappearing or trying to disappear on that Suzuki. Cairoli really digging into his reserves of energy here. Fastest lap of the race, last time for Strybos, 1:42.6. That was quicker by almost a second over Clement Dessau, who was at 1:43.7. So that gap 12.1 seconds. So it'll be interesting now at 12 minutes to go, plus those 2 laps, which 1:43 each lap. Ooh, nervous look over the shoulder. I'm just wondering whether there's a little bit of fatigue starting to creep into Jeremy Van Hoorbeek here, because Cairoli, even though he's on those antibiotics, is looking menacing once again in 4th place. Simpson 3 seconds adrift in 5th. Ulrich having a great ride there on that Saarholz KTM. He's still in 6th position, but nothing in it. 2/10 in it as he came over the line with Philipparts. Nagel just there as well on the number 12. Nagel 8th, Searle 9th, Podolzek now 10th.
Van Hoorbeek must be thinking now, I've got to go through this all again, you know, after the first motor of having to...
Tommy Searle at the inside of Nagel, so Nagel's starting to flag now. That might be him, not off the podium just yet, but...
He just had a look there, Paul, across the Tommy Searle coming through. Had no kind of resistance. Maybe he's done. Like you said earlier, he's just not able to stretch it out. If he had taken the whole shot and was clean and just had to worry about some back markers and, you know, people like Jeremy Van Hoorbeek or Clement Dessau, it might have been a, top 3, top 5, something to make sure of that podium result. But whatever we're talking about, it's a good comeback from Max Nagel, and I think it'll probably secure him that Honda ride for next year. That's
basically what I said at the end of the commentary, comeback ride, a dream ride for Searle. Scrubs his way up the inside of Ulrich, lets him know that he's there. So 2 passes in about half a lap for Tommy Searle, who now moves up to 6th place and goes after Simpson. The number 24, Philippart, just ahead of him. But, you come back, a dream ride for Max, a dream ride for the fans and for Honda HRC as well. And if there was any element of doubt, they've just, might have just ridden himself back into contention if there was ever any doubt anyway, but it was always going to be a tough ask coming into the second race and getting a decent result, even with a whole shot, because these guys are pushing a good pace up front. The South Strybos, Van Hoorbeek, Cairoli. 5th would be probably as good as an ask you could get from him, I think, in this. Would have got him on the podium, for sure, but
What's German for "let me pass"? Shouting at Dennis
let me
Ulrich
pass
there. I think he's done it anyway. But Nagel's a kind of very sensitive, a technical rider, you know, on the motorcycle, got a lot of feel for, and I think the Japanese technicians appreciate that.
Yeah.
If it comes down to, you know, Max Nagel, Evgeny Bobrishev, if one rider maybe in contention for the ride next year, then maybe Max Nagel has done it, unfortunately for Bobby, at the time when he's nursing that broken leg. And Strybos is doing a good job, isn't he?
He's doing a great job.
These riders all within 1 second of each other. I'm including Clement de Sal there, who's now lost a second to Kevin Strybos, but still 11.5 ahead.
So de Sal would be 47 points, Nagel 39, as Nathan Watson comes in. Looks like he's been down, has he?
Van Horbik just clinging on to the bottom step of the podium.
Twisted the front end and been down hard. He's not going to pull out, though. No doubt about that. He'll go back out if he can, if the bike's straight enough. But de Sal, Nagel, Van Horbik, 47, 39, 38. Strybos on 36. So he's just going to be off the podium here.
But we've got to keep an eye on Nagel, because if he fades back or loses a couple of positions, because he's right in there with a group, a cluster of riders, then he's going to, you know, Kevin Strybos could potentially nudge his way up. He can't catch anyone now but Clement de Sal. Van Horbik could be a threat, but with the proximity of the lap times, he's not going to get that much ground in 8 minutes.
Yeah, and in the 5 rounds that Nagel did up to Bulgaria, obviously he was on the podium at round 1 with a race win in Moto number 1 in Qatar, and obviously got him 2nd overall as well. So it'd be a dream ride for him, wouldn't it? Like you said, you know, just getting himself on the podium along with a race win. HRC and everybody, it'll be a big pat on the back from those guys.
The points total in the championship, de Sal just keeping within touching distance, isn't he?
Yeah, well, it's down to 32 at the moment, so what, 3, 5, 7 points off of that. So down to 25, it'll be a race win.
You know, that's good for the, you know, for the interest of the championship, isn't it? It means Tony Cairoli really can't afford to click into championship gear yet.
Exactly. And it is one of those cliches again, isn't it? You know, you win your championships on your worst days, not your best days. This will go down as not one of his strongest days for Cairoli, but damage limitation, riding with the flu, with Iris on antibiotics, as Watson goes down again. Just gets himself out from under the bike. Seven and a half minutes to go. Jeremy Van Horbik still hanging on to that 3rd place finish. This will be another consecutive podium now for 10 in a row, yeah, for Jeremy Van Horbik.
We're trying to work that out, because I don't think anyone's done that. Stefan Everts, I think 2006 was the last time, when he only had his sequence interrupted by Josh Coppins.
That was
even then, he was still on the
14,
podium. That was for
13.
victories. So 2006 is probably the last time we've seen somebody take 10 consecutive podiums.
In this category.
Yeah. Tommy Searle just trying to grab the back of David Guarneri. That's for 10th place. Searle was higher up, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. He's dropped 4 places. Yeah, he's behind Guarneri. He was just ahead. He was he just passed Nagel. So he's obviously been down. So not sure if we've got that caught on camera. Ooh. And I wonder if that was what put Nagel into 2nd, you know, in terms of the GP, because obviously giving those points away.
Yeah.
Giving them points back to him, sorry. So Tommy, just here, number 100, CLS Kawasaki Monster Energy. Who's he going after now? Is that Podizek? Yeah.
Another rider whose future's kind of up in the air. I guess his best options depend on what happens with brandmate Gautier Paulin.
Can you see... Yeah, because there's a lot of talk, isn't there? Even though he's not here, he's injured, Gautier Paulin, but going back after Podizek here, Tommy Searle, trying to pick up some points, but can you see him going to America, Paulin?
No.
Next year? So I think then he's going to stay there at Kawasaki then.
I think Kawasaki would give him the option if he, you know, stayed here 1 more year and got a good championship finish. 2016 might be the choice, but it's not going to happen next year. And then if he leaves Kawasaki for another team, another challenge, Husqvarna or Honda, then Tommy Searle might have that factory bike.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Sure, decision to be made very, very soon. Davide Guarneri, number 39 on the Ritchie Racing TM. He's in 11th position, just behind Tommy Searle, who has lost a few places after making a mistake just a lap or so ago, because he was past Max Nagel for 7th. Nagel has been passed by Philipparts now, he moves up into 6th place. So Tommy Searle trying hard to rectify that mistake. And those extra couple of points as Searle dives down the inside of the Frenchman, Podizek, and finds a way through successfully. That's handed those couple of points back to Nagel to keep him on the podium.
It's another example of what you have to do here. Just get as close as you can to that rider in front and then just barrel your way past, just try and find a different line or a little bit more space.
Good ride though, good consistency though for Podizek, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not a what's the word, a regular Grand Prix rider. But the appearances he's made, boys, he's shown some good promise. He can run top 10 at this level, which is not easy at all. So, you know, any rider will tell you in this paddock. And
a private team as well, the 2B Yamaha, you know, pretty much a stock bike with just 1 or 2 parts on it.
Here's Nagel, 7th place. Just settling into a nice rhythm of 1:44 lap times. With 5 minutes to go, you've got to say his podium shot is pretty good.
Yeah, he's 4 seconds clear of Ulrich. Equally impressive for Dennis Ulrich on the Saarholz KTM, to be fair. 8th place. Tommy Searle now back into 9th, but he's second, 6 seconds down. Rain looking like it's, well, maybe on one part of the circuit, but we'll have to see if the umbrellas get popped up.
He's been threatening to do it all day with some of those dark clouds, but you know, we've had a breeze here all weekend, haven't we? It's an open track, even though the layout itself's kind of sunken into the ground, you know, all these different undulations and banking and off cambers. You know, we're still quite poised up on the top of a plain, like a plateau here, so the weather's been changing quite a bit. And then
like
Roger just riding, be smart on the pit board, Paul.
Do what, sorry?
Roger just riding on the pit board for Max Nagel there, be smart.
Yeah. And especially if it is starting to rain, then obviously, as we discussed earlier on in the race, you know, the polished surfaces, the hard, slick areas on the track, they will become like ice, you know, and it will just catch you out. The riders will know that. They'll know where to chase the dark patches out on there, and that's probably what Roger, his English mechanic, is alluding to. Just ride smart.
Oh, man. It's Nagel wearing that limited edition Fox gear. Nice clash with the red and the green. I think that kit's going to be given away in a competition, actually.
Yeah, we mentioned that in our Facebook page. Guess the top 3 overall in MX2 and MXGP. Obviously, MX2 has already been decided, so needed to do it earlier on, but signed set of that limited edition Fox kit. Also, MXGP TV access and the official video game MXGP as well.
Let's see if we can pick up the battle for 2nd place, because Jeremy Van Horbich just set his best lap of the race with 2 minutes to go. There's the race leader, Clement de Salle. If we try and get a shot from behind, 9 seconds adrift is Kevin Strybos in 2nd place, also on a Rockstar Energy Suzuki, but then should be the factory Yamaha. And Van Horbich now just, I would say, just trying to get maximum points possible, Paul, because de Salle 2nd in the championship. No, beg your pardon, Van Horbich 2nd in the championship. Oh, look at your paper here. De Salle 2nd in the championship, yeah, and Van Horbich 7 points behind.
But Tony Cairoli just lost that toe now, hasn't he? He's like 6-7 seconds adrift of Van Horbich. Hasn't got anything else left to bring to the table. But Strybos has been impressive in this race, you know, chasing down his teammate. He's got that gap down to about 9 seconds. It's going to be 3 laps to go here. Or is it? Because, yeah, it will be.
44, 43.
Because de Salle already over the line with a 1:43. Might be tight, no, might be 4 laps to go, because it was 1:40 as he came over the line, wasn't it? And he was already 11 seconds clear, so, or 8 seconds clear. It's a 4-lapper.
Kevin likes to talk about arm pump, but he's really got himself sorted out on that Suzuki. I think he frustrates himself just from the inconsistency of starts, which can be brilliant, like we saw yesterday for his 3rd pole position of the year. Or, you know, he ends up being down in 10th and having to work so hard to get through to podium contention. You can almost sense like he feels like he can win races, win motos, but it's just not really happening for him on a week-to-week basis. He's had a little dip, didn't he? But in the French Grand Prix and the round before, which was in Manly Basin. But since then, he's looked like a front runner again. Jeremy Van Horbich, he was quick on the lap before. The last lap, not so much. Actually, Strybos was almost 2 seconds quicker. So the Belgian on the yellow bike has responded to the threat on the blue one.
Might just be running out of time though, Kevin Strybos. I know he's 8.5 seconds down on his teammate.
Or maybe Van Horbich's had his last blow. Real, like you said, a real intense, a real kind of high pressure, stressful race for Van Horbich in the first one. The sky just getting all bright and hazy there, the rain coming down.
Well, unfortunately, it stayed away because this place isn't fun in the wet, is it? Well, Clement de Salle. This is going to be tight for the 2-lap board. 8, 7. No, it's going to be 3 laps to go. So De Salle takes the line then. 3 to go. And what's the gap? It was 1:44.1 this time around. Strybos comes over the line in second. 7.6 seconds down now.
And it's going to be a 4th win of the year for Clement De Salle. I would say that's his best season since 2010. I think he won 3 races then. So 4 wins.
Yeah, and in succession as well, you know, like, you know, winning in Spain, then obviously second in GB, third. You know, 3 wins in 5 GPs. That's not a bad strike rate, is it?
Well, and also look at the fact on your piece of paper there, since Qatar when he finished 7th, which was his first major race since breaking his shoulder here in the Motocross of Nations, he's not dropped out of the top 4.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is kind of championship form. I mean, Cairoli's even had a worse result than that, 5th place.
Even with his big crash in Italy, he still finished 4th.
Yeah. And that left wrist, you know, he was nursing after the race earlier this week, and, you know, it seems to be okay.
Well, in terms of Belgian Grand Prix winners, we've had 10 before. Joel Robert, your first winner for Belgium. Joel Smets has won 3. Stefan Everts has won 3. Ken de Dijker was the last Belgian winner back in 2010 on a Yamaha. So, Clement De Salle will be looking to add his name to that win list. He will become the 11th Belgian to win here at Teushenthal, and only the 7th Suzuki rider. Joel Robert winning. Bovots also winning in 96 on a 250. Pichon back-to-back in 01 and 03, but Roxon was a winner. Larissa Papenmeier was a winner when it was women's GPs as well. So 7 wins for Suzuki is on the cards here.
That's an impressive little statistic sheet you got there. Oh, yeah. Full credit.
You know me.
I
like to do a little bit of homework.
Nagel's still in 7th place, pretty much just rounding out this moto. He got David Philipparts within touching distance though, hasn't he?
Mental rain, I think they call this in-road race, don't they, MotoGP, just starting to come down. And the riders will know that because they'll see where the grip is and the lack of grip, certainly on those hard-polished areas, but
good luck trying to pass Philipparts as well. Took 3rd place for the Italian team here, the Motocross of the Nations. Like I said, first win in the MXGP or MX1 class like it was back then in 2007. And,
he won his first MX1 GP here, actually.
Yes, in 07, yeah. He was only the 2nd rider to do it. Ben Townley the 1st to win in MX2 and MX1. Philipparts 6th place, Paul. That'll probably be another season. Is that equal in a season best? I don't think he's been. Oh, 5th place last week. Last week, yeah, at Majora.
In Majora, but in terms of this weekend, I mean, he obviously likes his place anyway. He'll be 8th overall here behind Tommy Searle and Sean Simpson. He'll be another 6th place overall finisher. De Salle, Nagel. De Salle would be 47, Nagel would be 39, Horbeek would be 38, and Strybos 36. But Cairoli 34, so that'd be a good points haul back, 13 points.
Look at the World Championship there. Poor Kevin Strybos is pretty much in no man's land, isn't he? 4th place. You know, he's going to have to, I don't know, win a lot of races to try and break into that top 3. And, you know, the guy behind him, you know, Sean Simpson at the moment, almost 100 points behind.
Yeah.
Strybos, you could say, you know, a very, very good bet for 4th in the 2014 World Championship.
But Sean Simpson moving up into 5th, ahead of Frossard, who obviously not finishing this race. So, as you said, MXGP, a career best for Sean Simpson in terms of placing.
And when's the last time we saw a privateer that high up in the Premier class in the World Championship?
Well, it's off the top of my head, I mean, it's a long time.
Yeah, it's it just goes to show, you know, you can pay big bucks for a race winner or a championship supposed contender, but, you know, those guys that are there every week, every moto, are just as valuable, you know.
Yeah.
The bike's on our screens, it's in the results sheet, it's making kind of, not headlines, but it's there, making good results. This man will get the headlines, won't he? 4th win of the year. And really, you know, looked so comfortable in that first moto in Italy before that big crash.
Yeah. Cairoli's had 6 wins, hasn't he? Backing it off. Final lap, can afford to. His teammate 6.7 seconds down here, number 22, Kevin Strybos, but pretty impressive. Rockstar 1-2 in the race, 1st and 3rd in the GP, with Nagel still there in 2nd overall in the GP, which has to be said, Adam Wheeler, you know, pretty much of a fairy tale comeback ride, wasn't it? You know, a win in Moto number 1, get on the podium here to do it 2nd after what he's been through in terms of a double arm injury.
Yeah. Couldn't even make his breakfast, like I said yesterday in the press conference. So.
And he's going to send the German fans home happy. But so's this guy here. Look at that, Mark Verpaulen hanging over the wall. Brings his man home, Clément de Sales. Rockstar Energy Suzuki wins Moto number 2 and the overall Grand Prix here in Germany. And he moves closer to Tony Cairoli in terms of yes. And the rain does start to come down, and he gives that bike a good old pat on the front plate there, because that's brought him home this week, Adam. And a good GP for de Sales, Suzuki as well. But Max Nagel, we wait for him to come over the line. There's Van Hoorbeek in 3rd. Cairoli lost ground in the closing stages. He should come home in 4th. Here he is now on the Red Bull KTM. Tough day at the office for Cairoli. 5th for Simpson now. Good ride for him. Philippart 6th. Nagel 7th for him. Searle 8th. Ulrich 9th. And Guarnieri 10th. Thanks, Adam. We'll see you in Sweden. But Nagel, he'll be kicking himself at a bad start, but 2nd overall, he'll be pleased with that equally. So de Sales then wins the overall here with a convincing win in Moto number 2. And we'll grab a quick word with him as soon as Amy Dargan can catch up with him. But she's down there doing her best for us. But it is quite a way around there. But race 2 then ends like this. Clément de Sales, your winner. 2nd, his teammate on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki, Kevin Strybos. Factory Yamaha's Van Hoorbeek 3rd. Red Bull KTM's Cairoli 4th. Simpson, Philippart, Nagel, Searle, Ulrich and Davide Guarnieri, your top 10 in race number 2. Here's your overall Grand Prix winner, though.
Clément de Sales, congratulations on your 4th Grand Prix victory of the year. Well done.
Yeah, I'm really happy. It's good, you know. Last weekend I had a shit weekend and a big crash, you know, a small mistake would become a big crash. And I could not train nothing during the week because my waist was so painful. Till Wednesday was so big, and yeah, it was really, really great. I'm really happy to win back.
Well done, Clément, and apologies for the swearing again.
Great day for Clément de Sales and Rockstar Energy Suzuki. A win here to add to the ones from Trentino round 4, Spain and France. He does it here with a 2-1 scorecard and moves closer to Antonio Cairoli in the championship chase. Clément de Sales wins his 4th Grand Prix of the season here in Germany ahead of Max Nagel, straight back to the podium in his first ride back since injury. Van Hoorbeek on the podium again in 3rd, Strybos 4th, and Cairoli off the podium for the 3rd time this year. Simpson, a good ride for him, ahead of Searle and the rest. Going to be a noisy podium for Max Nagel, you would think. 2nd overall for HRC Honda. Hasn't disappointed the home fans, but 25 points the gap between Tony Cairoli and Clément de Sales. It was 38 at the start of the weekend, so a good day for de Sales. Van Hoorbeek not far off the pace either, 12 points behind de Sales in 3rd. Then Strybos, Simpson, Frossard, Paulin and Nagel. Philipparts moves up 2, he's now inside the top 10. As Bobryshev, injured this weekend, drops down to 10th. Commander Sal's Rockstar Energy Suzuki in readiness for the podium. But before that, Judith Hoffmann, brand manager for Fox Germany, gives Milko Podolzek his first Fox whole shot black plate. But Cairoli leads the way in the whole shot classification with 9. Good job for the 2B Yamaha rider, Milko Podolzek. He's had a good race this weekend as well, consistent. So 2 Belgians and a German on the podium this weekend. 3rd overall, Yamaha Factory Racing, Jeremy Van Horby. Not been off the podium since round 1 in Qatar. 2nd overall, good reception for the number 12 German, Max Nagel of HRC. He'll be pleased with that 2nd here. But Commander Sal, win number 4 for the Rockstar Energy Suzuki rider of Belgium. A week after that big crash as well. Sylvain Gabors, team principal for Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MXGP, will collect the manufacturer's trophy for Suzuki, winning manufacturers here today. Sylvia Richter-Renberg, artist. And I bet she's designed those trophies herself. If she has, they're very, very nice. Almost in a very similar theme to the World Cup at the moment. Good work, Sylvia. 3rd place for Van Horby. 2nd place, Max Nagel takes his 2nd position. Trophy from Mr. Stettin, Sal's Parkas. That is a nice trophy for him as well, especially with the injury that he's had recently. Great day, great comeback for him and Honda. Commander Sal, Rockstar Energy Suzuki, World MXGP takes his winner's trophy from Joachim Janke, chairman MSC Teuchenthal here in Germany. And Sylvain Gabors takes his winner's trophy on behalf of Suzuki. Andreas Kosban, clock of the course here. That is a nice trophy. Trying to work out whether it's kind of bronze or wood or what, but looked good on the mantelpiece at Suzuki, that's for sure. But didn't make the podium this weekend here in Teuchenthal. He was a 2-race winner in 2012, the last time we were here, but has to settle for a step off the podium, but he still has the championship lead. He will pick up another red plate from this guy here, Dr. Wolfgang Schrub, the director, the FIM CMS director. That gap was 38 points at the start of the weekend. It's now down to 25. Sweden next stop in 2 weeks' time. Commander Sal, though, your overall winner here in Germany. National anthem for him and Belgium. Suzuki were winning manufacturers this weekend. Here's the national anthem for Suzuki and Japan. Your overall podium then this weekend, Clement de Sal, Max Nagel and Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. And once again, it's time for those guys to get busy with the fizzy. Amy Dargan's favourite saying, that's all. But what a magnificent day here. Fantastic Grand Prix, MXGP of Germany. Good comeback for Clement de Sal after crashing out in Italy a week ago. Even better comeback for Max Nagel. Missing the last few races due to injury, comes back as a race winner in Moto number 1, a solid ride in Moto number 2, and second overall this weekend at his home Grand Prix. And Jeremy Van Hoorbeek on the podium again. MXGP Race 2 burst into life. Wasn't the best start for Max Nagel, the winner from Race 1 on that red Honda, number 12. Instead it was Milko Potazek on the 2B Yamaha who took the foxhole shot and led the opening lap. Clement de Sal was right there on his wheel tracks as well, and pretty soon the Belgian was through into the lead. Van Hoorbeek, Kai Rowley, Simpson, Philipparts all had to fight hard, so too did Max Nagel. As 991, Nathan Watson wrestled with that Husqvarna, but in the end, the checkered flag fell to Clement de Sal. He was the overall winner here this weekend, alongside Kevin Strybos and Van Hoorbeek. And here is Clement de Sal, your Grand Prix winner for the 4th time this year. Here he is with Amy.
Clement, you are undoubtedly the strongest rider of the day, and it's also good to see you turn your fortunes around here at this Teufelstal track.
Yeah, I'm really happy to win back because last weekend it was a tough weekend for me. I had a big crash and it's really, my waist was painful really a lot and I could not train. So yeah, it was good. A good race this weekend, I mean this Sunday, so I'm really happy about it. It's really good to be back on the first place on the podium. And you know, in first moto, I gave all what I had and Max was really fast. So it was difficult to pass, and second one I had a good start, so could manage to have a gap in the beginning of the moto, and really happy about that. I dedicate this race GP win to my girlfriend because you know it's like a second home GP here, and it's first time I win in Germany. I'm really happy, and it's really good.
Congratulations, Clement. We'll see you next time in Sweden. And second overall this weekend, Max Nagel. Max, you should feel really proud of yourself, how you've managed to bounce back from what was a terrible injury.
Yeah, sure, and definitely nobody expected, not the team, not myself, to be on podium here. I mean, in the first race I had an awesome start, riding was great, just had my own rhythm. I was pushing really hard to make the win, so I was really tight for second race. Second race, normally also a good start, but Tony was really aggressive, pulling to the left, and he almost took us both off the bike. So I had to close the throttle, otherwise we would crash. That was not so nice. But then I was around 6th position and too tired to come to the front because first race was too heavy. But now I keep on working to improve every GP. But now that's just amazing. Now my home crowd to be in second position, in podium. So just so happy.
Well, it's great to have you back, Max.
Thank you.
Third overall this weekend, Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. That was a pretty intense Grand Prix for you.
Yeah, you know, I've been sick all week and I did nothing, no training, nothing. And yeah, it was still on my bad day. You know, I made a good day, so I'm really happy about this again on the podium. Yesterday, you know, I still had more energy as today, and today I had low energy. But I guess it's no problem. I'm still there and really happy, and yeah, looking forward for the next round and get fit again. And want to say, stay strong, Joel, again, and come on, buddy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Well done.
Well, that's it for MXGP here at Teufelstal. Clement de Sal takes his 7th race win of the season, his 4th Grand Prix win of the year as well. Becomes the 11th Belgian winner. And the 7th for Suzuki. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we go to MXGP of Sweden at Uddevalla. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye for now.